everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Darning Watch put on by Irrational Radio here on your Monday night. I am, of course, a wooden leg. Down there is Mr. E, and over there is John 2. We are outside of the city of Howl Bay today. And of course my screen is not working now, but that's all right. I'll get that fixed while I'm introducing this here. So yeah, we're outside of Howl Bay, a fishing village in the Free Islands south of Arboria after the Civil War a few decades ago that split them off from the Kingdom of Arboria. An orphanage in the town has a peculiar set of circumstances. All the children, or at least most of the children, have begun exhibiting hive mind-like behavior. They are all talking and acting in unison. It is freaking everybody out. The guard captain interviewed one of the children and found it so unnerving that he basically closed the orphanage and went and got the mayor to hire you guys as the Darning Watch. We'll begin a few, just as you come over the hill to see Howl Bay spread out there before you. As I said, it's a coastal fishing village, not very big, maybe a few thousand people. You are supposed to meet Gerald Richtenstein, the guard captain of Howl Bay. He is located in town square waiting for you.
So walking up, Levander's probably been going on and on about his theory that all of the kids are one mimic somehow or another. I think primarily. But
Levander, I hope you understand that not everything's a mimic anymore. Your irrational fear of all the chairs back at Darning Watch HQ have been, it's been a problem, I think.
You can't be sure, you've got to determine with certainty that they're not a mimic, right? What's a few holes, in an average chair? He's kind of crossing his
shot
arms.
15 chairs now with bolts.
Yeah. And
half of them were toilets. You've broken at least 7 toilets now. I don't mind personally, but
imagine if it were a mimic, right? That'd be the worst place to be caught, literally with your pants down.
Yes, it would. Moving swiftly on. Have you ever heard of groups acting like this before?
Not exactly. It seems like we've got ourselves, like I've said,
not a mimic
of doppelgangers.
Okay.
It's like one big, hive-minded mimic or something. And he taps his temple.
Right. Well,
right.
It's a great thing to work off of. I'll make sure to write it down. And he
just nods.
And he just has his finger. He doesn't even have a clue. He's just fingering over his book. And who are we supposed to talk to again? Some Gerard or
Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
That sounds like who it is. Yes, that's probably it.
Sorry, it's the first thing I know.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
I love A Knight's Tale. Anyway, it says, it was a guard Richtenstein or something like that, I believe. And kind of continue on our way into the town.
All right. You pass through. It is primarily a trading and fishing harbor. Serves the strait in between the Free Islands and Arboria. Pretty busy right now. People are shopping. Fishes are being sold, butchered. There is a few places where people are scooping up the fish guts and bones, putting them in large pots and then boiling them down into something called bone stew, which is given out for free to whoever wants to eat something for no money. You approach the town square and you see that there is a fairly well-dressed guard captain holding a sign that says Darning Watch. He's looking around expectantly.
Evander is like slurping down probably the second bowl of this.
You know that's for the poor of the town, right?
Right, but it's not exactly like specified specifically who's allowed it. As I understand, it's open and free to all.
Can you get me one?
He kind of hands you the half bowl that he's.
He just pours it out on the ground.
That was rude. That was wasteful. There's someone hungry who could have ate that.
Well, now they can eat it off the ground.
As we're like walking up to, they can eat it off the ground. That's incredibly rude.
I would like to draw it if I'm being honest. I think it would give me a great canvas.
Wait, draw? What? Sorry?
It would be a great memento, part of my canvas.
That's not right. Not seen you painting before.
He'll turn his journal around and there's sketches of you from the side, but he's drawn like random things on you. There's like a cowbell in one of them.
That's some of that is quite offensive.
Oh, it's only imaginary.
Your shading is quite impressive as well. Kind of walk over to the guy holding this.
Looks at you guys. Are you the
I'll point at his sign.
Yes. He looks at the sign, the Darning Watch, right.
Sound it out now.
The Darning Watch. I'm sorry, I'm very stressed out.
Sure. What is it that we can do for you?
It's this damn orphanage. These kids, I don't know what. I'm at the end of my rope. I'm so glad you're here. They're all speaking in unison. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. We've even tried splitting them up, and they still say the same goddamn things, even between walls and, past barricades and whatnot.
That's definitely unsettling. Have you engaged in any sort of preemptory investigation thus far?
I interviewed one of them, a little girl named Rebecca. And she asked me things about my life and stuff that creeped me out.
Sorry, and it's not the standard sort of precocious youth questions, of course.
No. Stuff like weird demon speak. Asking me when was the last time that I prayed. And just evil things.
And
right. When did this begin?
Just a few days ago, 4 or 5 days ago.
And what is the state of the chairs in the orphanage?
He just puts his hand on your.
He looks, furrows his brow a little bit and goes, the chairs.
Oh,
they moved. Is there been any strange reports?
It's a simple cursory question we ask everyone nowadays.
No, the chairs have pretty much remained chair-like.
There, you can sleep easy now.
It means they're plotting.
Well, you haven't checked the beds yet, so maybe we'll have to check those too.
Oh, Christ, you don't suppose.
He
just wiggles his fingers at you.
I've instructed the caretaker, a woman named Ruby Baraton, to keep the children entertained and fed so that there is no, bad stuff, bad juju. I don't know. I've read books about this kind of stuff. there was that keep up north, you know, that the Duke, he got turned inside out. I don't want to go like that.
Oh, tell me more.
I'd prefer not.
Body like fully inside out, like organs on the outside.
Yeah, and then
He's sketching in his book right
his
now.
organs were actually splayed into the walls and the ceiling.
Oh, what color red? What do you think? Burgundy? Crimson?
He looks
I'll figure
really
it out
concerned.
later.
Right, we should go to the orphanage now.
Yeah, right. That would perhaps be best. And he's like looking over.
He's like basically nose deep sketching in his book.
Are you all this strange?
Yes.
Potentially. I've not got the most extensive breadth of experience, you might say.
Right. Okay, well, follow me. He leads you through the small harbor town as the wind begins to pick up and the clouds cover the sun. There's a gray, overcast light that begins filtering over everything. You arrive at a old building next to the harbor, made of driftwood and large planks of timber that looks like they have been pulled off of shipwrecks and nailed to build the structure. There is an old woman outside pacing back and forth, wringing her hands, and every so often she'll look at the door, sigh, and then go back to pacing. You guys walk up, and the guard captain goes, "Ruby, these are the Darning Watch agents. They're going to take over from now. I gotta go back to my regular duties. There's been an uptick in pickpockets lately because I haven't been on the beat. So all right, I leave you in their hand. Yeah, whatever." And he turns around and walks away. Ruby looks up really like with a lost expression. She's about a 64-year-old woman, rail thin, and her hands shake slightly.
So he doesn't look up from his notebook as he's sketching at all.
I think he's looking over at him, kind of waiting for a second, then just shakes his head and says, is there perhaps anything you can tell us before we venture in?
Don't make it mad. Whatever it is.
It.
Yes, it calls itself a queen, I guess. I don't know.
He nods slowly. We've gotten a bit of a sort of what you might say an overview of the eerie occurrences. Is there perhaps a bit more detail you could give us?
There's when you talk to it, sometimes you can hear voices in your head that aren't your own, asking for things. It's gotten almost all of the children. The only one is little Johnny. He is not speaking like the others. He's always been a little bit of a loner boy, and he's always been kind of strange. But he's now the most normal one in the building. I don't know.
Have they done anything you'd call violent or directly harmful?
No, well, Johnny, well, he wants to be a wizard more than anything, but he's not very smart, and he can't read very well, even though he tries, and he made an experiment. Maybe 6-7 months ago. It was a horrible stench, and we had to move all of the children out into my own home for a little bit while we cleared the stench out. But that's the only majorly disruptive thing that he has done. The biggest problem is the other children used to pick on him because of his strange mannerisms and generally scrawny and gangly appearance. But now they just seem to ignore him. Or it, the queen. Oh dear.
And
So
the chairs.
What?
You see his hand go up to your shoulder and just stops and puts it
Looks
back
over,
down.
confused, shrugs. And...
All right. 15 gold pieces on the boy Johnny being some orchestrator of some sort of weird summoning ritual.
Oh no, not Johnny. I don't think that he would do something like that.
Why is he an orphan? What happened to his parents?
Oh well.
Horrible accident, fishing.
No. Many of them were orphans from the rebels of the Free Islands, Arborian sympathizers that seek to rejoin the crown. His parents, along with many of the other children's, were part of a resistance movement that was found out in town, and well, they were put to death. And of course, I being a noble and being very high up in the agricult, know of how important it is to protect our seedlings, even if they come from fallow soil.
Yes, very planty. Perfect. Is there anything else you can tell us that might help?
I don't know. I'm just an old woman. I don't know much about demons and entities from beyond the pale of existence.
Can I get an insight on her, please?
Sure, go ahead.
Sure. Actually.
Natural
Ooh,
20.
natural 20.
Fancy pants.
Nice.
Ooh, solid 7.
All right, so
What's he get though? I'm curious.
Skith, she seems completely genuine. She's not at all. She's just a scared old woman. Though, Lavander, she's pretty suspect to you.
Mm-hmm. You're covering for the chairs, aren't you?
What? What?
Just
what
like
do you
leans
mean?
in.
Oh
Skith,
dear.
Skith looks a little bit more genuine, and he'll rest a hand on her shoulder. How about you go get yourself some bone stew or whatever they're serving in the town?
Oh no, I'm not going to touch that. It's very high in cholesterol.
Go home. Is what I'm saying.
Ah, yes.
Thank you.
I will. Please don't hurt any of the children.
I will try my best.
Right.
All right. And
Lavander, on the other hand,
Staring at her.
she turns
Oh.
and shuffles down the street, looking back every few steps.
As long as they're not secretly chairs.
I think we'll have to
Mike
speak
puts
about the chair thing later. You might have an obsession.
What? No, it's a legitimate fear. Probably start heading.
We'll figure it out.
Out of the building.
And he'll open the door for you.
As you open the door, roll me perception checks real fast.
Right. Sure.
Ooh, 27 on Skid.
27.
Nice. And a 5. All right, so Skith, you hear shuffling, some like cabinets closing, like eek, and then some light whispering, but it only lasts maybe two or 3 seconds as you guys walk into the building. There's a small hallway, almost like an entryway, that has like a coat rack and a place for shoes, and then it opens up into a large schoolroom. With desks and chairs. There's about, 14 chairs. Standing on top of each of the chairs is a child, and they're all staring at you. As you guys come in, you see that the floor is littered with candy wrappers. There is drawings on the walls of, children, of flowers, of suns. You see that there of rainbows. There's rainbows on the walls too. You see that there has been a few
Shoddy artsmanship.
A few board games that have been kicked over into the side of the wall or something. All of the children stare at you, and then in unison they all go, "Who are you? You're not Miss Ruby."
No.
No.
We are now.
Have you come to play with me?
Oh, was,
Yes.
this is a bit more unsettling.
Oh boy, a new friend.
You see, I'm looking for your friend Johnny. The Vander here will play with you until
Oh,
we've
what?
finished up.
They
Right,
all
Levander?
giggle. I need you both to roll me wisdom saving throws.
Oh fuck.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Should have done it before I walked in.
There's my 7.
All right.
That's a solid roll. All right.
All right. So, Skith, in your head, you hear, "Give me candy. I want chocolate. Candy. Peppermint. Chocolate. Give me candy. Candy. I want candy."
Are you whispering candy in my ear?
What?
Ah, okay, perfect.
What shall we play, new friend? As they all turn to Levander.
Have you played? Well, it looks like you've got an Uno deck over here.
He really
You
likes
lot-
musical chairs.
I do not actually. War wound, and he like grabs at his hand. But I would play perhaps Duck Duck Goose, which you play on the floor as a general rule, as I understand. You're not actually gonna leave me alone with these are you?
I think talking to Johnny one-on-one might be better than speaking as two adults against one.
Let's play the animal game.
See, you're
Not
already half
sure.
animal. It works perfectly.
Do I win?
And I'm going to skulk off and see if I can find Johnny.
All right. So they go, "No, silly. We say an animal. And then you say an animal that starts with the same letter as my animal ends."
Oh. Right. Okay. Kind of like shift awkwardly.
Are you ready?
Um. Sure.
Fox.
That's upsetting. Zebra.
All the children stamp and go, "No, that's not right."
You're not familiar with the Isle of Skinsvag, I see.
Fox
Got a slightly different spelling convention.
ends in X.
Right. I'm gonna try very poorly to bullshit him. I guess,
Okay.
here.
For
That there is
children.
right, but I have a -1 in charisma, so he's not a good liar.
All right.
Yeah, solid 11 there. Pretty good for me, honestly. Old Evander.
All
No,
right. Yeah. It rolled a 13. They glare
it's
and go,
totally a thing.
"You're not playing right on purpose."
That's entirely not the case. Right. Well, perhaps we try again.
Okay. This time you
X
say
is
an
a hard
animal.
one. All right. An anteater.
Stop and think. Rhino.
And ocelot.
Stop and think. Tiger.
Reindeer.
All right, so as you
So,
make your
yeah.
way down the hallway, you get to the last. There's a hallway that goes down with the rooms for each of the children. Each room is open except for the last door on the left.
I'll mage hand it open.
You mage hand it open. There is a scrawny kid sitting in the middle of the floor, with a big, like a cauldron. It looks like, and he is very upsettedly trying to light the fire underneath the cauldron, and you see there's a stack of like broken and unburnt matches next to him as he keeps trying to light the cauldron. He looks at you and goes, "Hey, close the door. I'm busy." What?
Well.
Who are you?
I'm here to solve your problems.
Oh,
Most of them.
right.
Other than whatever this is. I don't think I can do much on this.
It's an experiment.
Right. Well, I'm a practitioner of magic myself. I might be able to help you.
His eyes light up. Are you a wizard?
I'm whatever you need me to be.
Oh.
And I'll cast dancing lights.
Okay.
And I'll just have the lights like float around his head.
Wow. How did you do that?
It's called magic.
I know that. But how did you do the magic?
Well, I was I don't know, actually. I can just do it.
Man, everybody has magic but me.
Yeah, that's probably true. But you know what, there's something that you can do that most people can't.
What?
Help us figure out what the fuck is wrong with all the other orphans in this place.
He rolls his eyes and says, I'm not supposed to.
Why?
Oh,
A, who says? B, why? Start at A.
oh. I'm not supposed to say that either.
Oh. Well, you know, how about this? I'll help you with your little experiment if you help me.
Okay. I'm trying to make an invisibility potion.
Ah. Check spell list. Well, oh, look behind you.
And he looks behind him.
I cast
Wow.
suggestion on him.
Okay. So, wisdom saving throw, correct?
Yes.
All right. He rolled a 10. He fails the wisdom saving throw. He turns around and blinks and goes, "Ah."
Oh, gross. I would like you to tell me everything you know about what's currently going on in here.
Okay. It's Sarah. Sarah and all the popular kids. They're talking through each other to scare the adults so that they get to do whatever they want in the orphanage.
They can do that on their own.
Yeah, now they can.
And Sarah's the one pulling the strings?
Yeah, she's the most popular girl, so all the kids decided to go along with her idea.
I don't think that you could orchestrate this with children.
Well, they did.
Are you lying to me?
No, I can't.
So you do understand magic perfect.
Yeah. I just can't do it myself.
Can Sarah do magic?
Now she can.
Now?
Yeah.
After what?
The storm.
Can you explain all of this so I don't have to keep asking questions in between each?
Yeah. There was a lightning storm 5 days ago, and the strike hit the orphanage. And it gave everybody powers but me.
Well, that's probably for the best. You'd probably be the worst one with powers.
It's not fair.
Well, buck up, I guess. And he will turn around and walk back to the main room.
Nice.
You said you were gonna help me.
Oh, what? I can't hear you.
All right. So the animal right now is Hydra. Oh no, sorry. Whoops, wrong voice.
Johnny walks out of the back room. Hydra.
Hydra.
Archaeopteryx. Sucks when someone sticks you with an X, eh?
You bullying children, Levander.
What? I mean,
Oh,
um,
it's the
can I-
other one. Did
can I
you-
roll like an insight to see if he, just to kind of have been gauging this as like,
Sure.
he's been trying to see if it's, you know, are they up to shenanigans, I suppose, or the other thing he was going to do is try and cast Detect Evil and Good somewhere in the mix here, if that's
Okay.
a possibility.
Sure.
Insight,
There's something weird going on here.
like fishy or like magic?
With that insight, there's something fishy about these games and stuff. This is not a very intelligent evil entity of some kind.
Okay.
When you detect evil or good, there is an undead something in the basement.
I think he's probably just been trying to keep the game going then until
Okay.
he comes back down.
All right.
Right. Have you learned anything?
I think so. He'll turn to the kids on the chairs. Which one of you is Sarah?
They all look at one another, and then they go, Sarah's not here anymore. It is
Oh.
me, the queen.
Queen of what? Bad
Of-
riddles and horrible games.
No, queen
Actually,
of the underworld.
Ooh, very interesting. What are
Is
your
that, like,
powers?
the basement.
Demon powers. We can create fire and summon other bad spirits.
Right.
Oh, so can I. I'm going to use Major Image, and I want to create an Eldritch Abomination.
Okay.
Something not scary enough to just leave like therapy
Right.
bleeding wounds, but
Right,
something
right.
scary enough to scare a child.
Right, of course.
Just like a bunch of eyes and mouths.
Okay, sure. I like it. So you summon this gibbering monstrosity in the middle of the room. There's all the children, there's a blood-curdling screech, and then they all start running in different directions against the walls.
Are they screaming in different voices now?
Yes, now they're screaming in different voices. Some of them are crying, others are hiding under the desks. One boy goes, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!"
Which one's Sarah? I'll ask you again.
Bro,
I-
look, we've no need to continue intimidating the children.
He
Oh,
points
what
at a
a
little
cute-
girl that's hiding under one of the desks. She's
He'll-
maybe 9, long blonde hair.
Okay. He'll snap his finger and it disappears.
There's a bunch of
Ah.
murmuring children now in the room.
Right.
Ah.
What's in the basement? Kind
What?
of looking around all the various children.
All the kids look at one another, and then they all blink in unison and all stand up, and they go, "That was not nice," they all say in unison. "You tricked us. You tricked me."
You're all horrible liars.
They all stamp. "You're a horrible liar." One of the kids goes, "Ugh, Sarah, just stop it. They know." And then a few more of the kids break
look
free,
over
and then
this,
there's
yeah.
like some chaos as the still possessed children are like, "No, we're demons. We've been possessed by demons."
Are there any snacks around?
Yeah, there's some candy that still hasn't
All
been
right.
opened yet.
I'm going to mage hand a few candies in their direction. Just like toss the candy
As
at them.
they all kind of break into, small groups of either crying children or talking children or children eating candy, and all that's left is just this blonde-haired girl standing on a chair, looking very upset and stomping her foot.
Well,
Oh,
Levander,
yeah.
I'll
Right.
motion him over.
What is it?
So it seems like they all really were just normal children, and they wanted to scare the adults. That's what Johnny said.
There's something undead in the basement.
Oh, like really undead.
Unless my magic's lying to me or deceived in some manner. Nods.
I trust it rather well. Should we speak to the girl and then go down there? Or?
Sure, she seems to be a ringleader or some sort.
She's right now
Sure.
screeching at several girls who are eating candy. Stop it! Stop it! We're supposed to do this together!
I've been in a theater class before.
I was just gonna say. It's funny. Walk over and her general direction, kind of just wait.
She whirls around and goes with tears on the corner of her eyes. You ruined it! You ruined everything!
Right, what is it we've actually ruined here?
We had everything. Now you're gonna tell Miss Ruby that it's nothing. It's just me.
I mean, it was quite an impressive act, if that's all it was. But it seems as though perhaps there is some further assistance engaged, perhaps.
Well, yeah, a lot of us can do things now.
After the
That's
lightning
all right.
strike.
Right.
What?
Yeah, apparently lightning struck this place, and all the children, except for Johnny in there, who is poorly mixing an invisibility potion, mind you. They can all do things now.
Johnny's weird.
You're weird.
Right,
You're weird.
engaged in a contrived scheme to convince folks you're possessed by demons. So
Yeah.
perhaps glass houses and all that. But can you tell me, Sarah, what's in the basement?
She looks curious, weirdly at you, like, I don't know. We don't go down there. Ruby doesn't let us.
Like, never.
No. Never. It's just a storeroom. It's
That's
where
weird,
Ruby
then.
puts all the stuff that's donated.
Okay. Have you got this out of your system then?
She stomps and goes, no.
You don't want our friend to come back, do you?
That doesn't scare me. I know it's just a trick. My
Right,
dad
it
could cast magic.
Oh no, I'm just innately so suspicious of wizards. That's probably not
True, same. Absolutely.
She sticks out her tongue at both of you.
right. Well, Sarah, here's the thing. You've probably got to make your way outside of the building until we figured out what's
I
going
don't
on.
want to
Maybe.
go outside.
Neither of us are quite good with children, are we?
No, it's
Right.
they're like people. But
She's going to turn
smaller.
around and go,
Right.
they're going to try to make us go outside. And a bunch of the kids start whining. Don't want to go outside.
The chairs are alive and they're going to eat you. He's like, looks
I
around.
mage hand one of the chairs to move a little bit.
One of the kids screams. They still kind of huddle up, and one of the boys comes out and goes, "It's okay, I'll protect us." He goes,
Shits himself.
for
Make a mess of yourself.
go ahead and both of you roll me a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
All right,
Great.
Skith, you take 1 point of psychic damage.
Is your nose bleeding?
Oh. I'm gonna walk over to that kid and kneel down.
He's like panting, and one of the veins on his forehead is like pulsating.
This is like that comic I've read, the X-Men or Hex-Men.
X-Men. I'm going to disguise self.
Okay.
And I'm going to add mandibles, couple more eyes.
He starts crying and like falls onto his butt
That's why you.
and then like crawls away from you.
You regret this.
Sarah goes,
act
"Stop
like
it!
this."
Stop it! Stop scaring him!"
Skiff is just like trying to hold back a laugh as much as he can. All right, let's go to the basement, shall we? I'm having far too much fun.
We're perhaps terrible people.
I assume so.
If
Well,
there's a performance review, I can't imagine that this is going to get high marks. It's gonna rack the his lever action bolter and head off that way. Whatever you hear, stay up on this floor. And if the whole house starts pulsating or chairs start moving,
No, you have to go. You leave. Just let us stay here.
I mean,
you can stay near the door in case
Yeah.
something goes wrong.
I think perhaps we've given up on trying to get you out of the building, if that's not what you've got in mind.
No, you're gonna ruin everything.
Well, if this
How's
undead
that?
monstrosity in the basement gets out, then maybe
What?
there'll be a... Oh.
What do you
oops.
mean?
Oh, never mind. That's a secret. Sorry.
She looks worried at everybody. What did you say?
Nothing. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Billy, read his mind. Roll me a wisdom saving throw, Skip.
Both
19.
of us are just-
Nice. I can't, Sarah.
All of his eyes start winking at that kid in unison.
You've got to dispel that. That's really
No, it's...
unsettling.
Oh.
It's kind of like as you look at him.
He'll like do this and it goes away.
One of the little girls is hiding under the desk, going like this.
I'm like, how sorry.
She's holding her hands to her temples.
Oh, gotcha. You all right there?
She turns away and keeps rocking back and forth.
Let's leave these odd children here and let's see what you're sensing downstairs.
You walk to the basement door, and there are several heavy chains across it with padlocks, and there is several boards nailed across it, and then a sign that says "Do not go downstairs."
Right, no red flags here, obviously.
No.
Not a one.
I'm going to pull my sketchbook out, and I'm going to wave a hand over it and cast Tales from Beyond.
Okay.
And see what we can muster here. That's a 1.
Nice.
Tale of the Clever Animal. For the next 10 minutes, whenever the target makes an int, wisdom, or charisma check, they can roll an extra die immediately after.
Nice.
So you get an additional 1d8, and I'll give it to Lavander.
All
right.
I guess he'll. I don't know. He's got like Smith's tools on him. Can he like take a hammer and chisel to the chains and just go about like?
As soon as you
getting
bring up
away
your
from-
tool, it goes right through the chains. It's like they're not there.
Wait a minute, and he's gonna just start pawing around it.
They're all illusions. As you paw, it begins to break up, and the little girl under the desk starts crying and says, "Sarah, he figured it out."
Right, yeah, no, that was an excellent and cunning deception you've engaged in here again, I must say. But I've seen through it quite literally.
So it's just the door. It's just the basement door. There's no chains or locks or anything on it.
So, not gonna tell us what it is that's down here then.
I don't know. I told you, Ruby didn't let us go down there. It's dark and scary, and there's a bunch of junk.
But you've put all the wardens and fake chains and all that lot on the door.
just to get you to go away.
Oh, sure. That was a great plan.
Yeah, I'm more interested now.
Certainly am.
Rebecca,
it's
that was
like-
a bad plan.
Not your best work, Rebecca.
She starts crying again.
We really should never be in control of children.
It's not
should we?
like it's not in this job description I was given.
That
And
me neither.
open the door, I guess.
All right, you open the door. There's a set of wooden steps leading down into the dark.
Oh, none of you
Right.
follow us. If there is what we assume to be some sort of abomination downstairs,
Oops, forget that. Sorry.
wouldn't want anyone being eaten, would we?
The
Right.
bunch of the children nod solemnly, and they all go back to, drawing on walls or playing board games or whatever children do when they're unsupervised.
Good. Is there a lock on this side of the door on the inside?
No, there's not.
Okay, but I will close it.
Okay. It's pretty dark down here.
Dancing lights.
Nice.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Illuminates, and the stair goes down to a stone floor. You can already see that there's boxes, barrels, and crates. It smells incredibly musty down here. Like a very, very old storeroom. There's cobwebs so thick that they look like blankets thrown over old furniture. As you descend, you see that the 15 by 15 basement is chock full of junk. There are chairs on top of chairs. There are enormous lanterns placed precariously on broken pianos. It's amazing that they get things down here. It looks like the basement of a hoarder.
Is it within 10 minutes of when I casted Detect Evil and Good by any chance?
Yes, it has been.
It has been more than 10. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you will cast that again.
Okay.
Try and zero in on where it seems like the undead presence he was sensing earlier is
All right.
now.
As you finish your spell, you dissect it on the far corner of the room, past all of the junk. There is something undead.
He'll gesture to Skith, kind of like wave a hand further again all the way to the far wall and start, kind of moving around the edge with his bolter ready.
It is slow going as there's tons and tons of junk. In some cases, you're going to have to climb on top of some junk to get to the back of this corner. So it is difficult terrain. But as you get to the back, you see that there is an enormous fish tank, like maybe 250 gallons, 8 feet long, 3 feet wide, 3 feet tall. It is full of green, gunky water, and there is like algae along the sides, or like goo along the sides inside the tank, so you cannot see what's inside. But whatever is in it is undead.
Whatever it is in there.
Right now, there's a bunch of boxes and books on top of it too, so it's like being used as a table right now.
I'll knock on the glass.
You knock on the glass, and a tentacle goes thump, and then goes ee, and makes a streak through the muck.
I look in that streak.
You see what appears to be a portion of a floating brain, a giant brain by the looks of it, with 3 tentacles coming off of it that is slowly swimming in a circle around the tank. And with that, we are going to go on break. All right, guys, we will be back in about 15 minutes to see what the hell they just uncovered. Stay tuned. Goodbye.
As a player, you also need to know what type of game you want to be in.
Yeah.
Whereas a DM is saying, this is the type of game I want to run, let me find players that fit this.
Right.
as a player, you need to know what type of game you want to be in. And I think, like, it goes back to what I was saying, inexperienced players won't exactly know the terminology. So basically the two sides of the spectrum is sandbox and railroad. And then everything in between, you know, there's a place for you. And I think that's one thing is maybe some inexperienced players wouldn't understand exactly what those mean. So basically, railroad, as you and I know, that's where the DM is going to tell you where to go in not so subtle terms.
Yeah.
Like whether they have, you know, an interesting character walks into the bar and walks up to you, hey, I have a job for you. It needs to be done now. Like, that's pretty much railroad. That's like, hey, here's a quest, go do it. Sandbox is no direction. DM's not going to give you direction. They're going to drop hooks at you. Subtle, sometimes blatant, but they're just going to drop a bunch of hooks. You're in a pond, they're going to throw hooks at you. You do what you want to do. You're in a tavern. They will describe the innkeeper. They'll describe some of the patrons. They'll describe, you know, the environment. They'll describe the band that's playing, the bard that's singing. Some, you know, people are walking in. It's this time of day. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? In a sandbox, I want to talk to this person at this table. I want to talk to the barkeep. I want to look at the board. I want to take part in the band. I want to get drunk. I want to go start a business. You don't have any given direction. There's anywhere you can go.
If you're playing a module, for example, that's probably going to be a little bit more of a railroaded campaign, just because of the necessity of, if you're going to stick to this, you know, structure of plot advancement that's in the book, everybody's got to kind of understand and agree that, like, yeah, when a hook comes up that's clearly pointing toward this main plot line, we're all going to kind of go toward that. And I think that happens in sandbox games after a point as well.
Oh, yeah.
You get to a point where the party has dictated something's interesting to them, and then the DMs, you know, backstopped that a little more and developed a couple more complications or conflicts that are centered around that aspect of the game. It's starting a business or whatever. You know, that can start to become one of those greater arcs. Like, you can have a larger overarching plot that guides the action and still have room for stuff where you can go off and do silly things, and, you know, in the meantime, where maybe, you know, every single action isn't time dependent, so you've got some free time or downtime or whatever that lets you work more along those lines. And so, yeah, obviously these aren't like a binary one or the other thing.
If you're new, generally you would lean towards a railroad side. It gives you more direction. Because as a new player, you're not exactly sure what all of your options are. What can you do?
Right.
What should you do? I mean, do you want to go and talk to somebody? Do you want a quest? Do you want to do nothing? Like, you don't know. You don't know. You're not given a list of things that you can do. As a player, depending on what you want to do, you need a DM that's going to be trying to run that type of game. If you want the direction, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want a story-driven direction, then that's fine. Find a DM that's doing that.
Right.
It's clam season, and you know what that means. That's right, it's the Clam Festival, and clams are half off at King Custard's Bucket Palace. We got steamed clams, baked clams, stuffed clams, fried clams, and so much more clam-related food. You won't fucking believe what we do to clams here. Come on down this Saturday for clam karaoke, clam racing, and of course, bobbing for clams. Get there early for your free clam bib and a chance to meet King Custard.
And I think that railroad's tossed around, you know, almost like a curse word, as you know, in the DMing world. And I think that if you're taking away your player's agency, that's bad. But if you're just all moving toward the same plot line, then there's nothing wrong with that. If everyone's agreeing that they're all interested in saving the world, you know, they don't want to deal with the piddly little nonsense here in town. They want to go straight to the cataclysmic world-altering event stuff, and that's the storyline everyone wants to play. Then that's not like a failed DM thing or something like that. I guess it's not my leaning as a DM, but I definitely am more of the whatever, run around, start a business. I've got a game that they own about 6, and they've had to license them all, and they run an orphanage, and they've got all there's like 100 different little business interests that they're sticking fingers in, and to me that's a lot of fun. But I understand that there are players that are going to be like, oh my god, nothing's happening, like we don't do anything, we haven't left this city in like 2 years, like
railroad is tossed around as like a bad word, but I think that the main reason that is because I think a majority of people that play, a majority of players end up falling into a certain category of where they want to play the game because they want their characters to be able to do what they want. And so when you have these players joining into games with DMs that want to run, say, a strict module or a straightforward, save the world campaign where it is a little more railroady, you have players that are joining games that they're not a fit for. So then you end up with the railroad being a bad term. Now, if you have players that's what they want, that's your type of game, you're joining a DM because you know he's running a game that is story driven, that is pretty much railroad centric, a module, what have you, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with railroad, but it gets a bad rap because just like any term in D&D, and where you're talking about any type of player or any type of DM, the only reason they get a bad rap is because the players and the DMs are not a good fit for each other. And that's what we're trying to talk about, is to get your fit as a player, as a DM. If you find your fit, there is no bad word.
Right. If you are doing some sort of like greater plot arc development stuff, and even if it's individual running around nonsense, eventually the stakes have to get raised, the pressure has to be increased in some way, and that there are people who are going to call that railroad. I think that it is part of pushing the plot forward at some point. I think that's it's much more important that everyone's looking for the same kind of game, because what one DM does and gets called railroading by one player, another DM could do with another player and never hear the same word, because they were both looking for that kind of game at the time.
So you're a bard, a master of performance, a suave, debonair gentleman with quick fingers and a silver tongue. But did you know that 8 out of every 10 bards have come in contact with a fantasy STD during their adventures without even knowing it? Have you recently experienced any of the following unexplained symptoms? Unending urination, warts with consciousness, sprouted tentacles, genital wings, crawling rash, anal portals, molten discharge? If so, you need Dr. Ungwin's Bard Rub, the only ointment on the market specifically designed for the most polyamorous of bards and adventurers. Most users see a 50% decrease in symptoms in just 2 applications. So don't wait for those tentacles to grow to maturity. Contact your nearest apothecary or witch doctor and tell them you need Dr. Ungwin's Bard Rub. Bard Rub has not been reviewed by the Safe Ointment Board. Side effects of Bard Rub include genital petrification, chemical burns, incontinence, and in some rare cases, death. Bard Rub is not to be used in conjunction with any other product from Dr. Ungwin, including Ungwin's bath salts and Ranger eye cream.
Are you one of millions of adventurers who have suffered from dagger-infested dungeons? Are you a shopkeeper with a cellar full of wild pythons? Are you a bard trying to seduce a Medusa? Then I have the product for you. Dr. Josiah Mason here with Snake Begone Oil. Just one drop of this revolutionary product will have you saying, gee, all the snakes are gone. Because that is exactly what will happen. Anacondas? Gone. Giant vipers? Gone. Water naga, spirit naga, bone naga, gone, gone, gone. Snake Begone Oil will even work on a Medusa. Yes, any snake or snake-related creature that comes within 100 meters will be miraculously repelled in an instant. It's that fast. Those snakes won't know what hit them when you use Snake Begone Oil. Don't wait, get yours today.
Snake Begone Oil has not been tested by the King's Alchemist or any royal authority. Snake Begone Oil should not be used as a replacement for combat, pest control, or as a marital aid. Gnomes who are pregnant or nursing should avoid contact with Snake Begone Oil. Snake Begone Oil has not been proven to repel snakes of any kind. All sales final.
How should players go about determining what kind of style their prospective DM might be looking to implement?
From a player's perspective, there are some questions you should be asking your DM. The setting is a big deal. If you are talking to a DM who's running a setting that all their players, they're going to be joining sort of a guild or a company or a group of people that are like say a den of thieves or a pirate's ship or something. That gives you an idea sort of for the setting. Are they running a module? Are they running homebrew? Are they running some sort of mix? Are they using a pre-made world? Is it their homebrew world? And that'll give you sort of an idea of what they want to do. So what you need to find out is, are the sessions going to be encounter driven? I guess that's the best way to put it. Because asking them, hey, look, is every session going to be combat, or are we going to have opportunities to roleplay? It seems straightforward, but the main thing is, are they building their game to be encounter driven? If a DM is building their game to be encounter driven, then most of the time, not all the time, most of the time it's going to be that you need to defeat these encounters to progress.
Right.
That tends to let you know that it's going to be more combat oriented. Some DMs, and you need to ask them this question: can you solve, will they allow you to solve encounters or even combat encounters?
Right.
Can you solve these problems with roleplay?
Yeah.
Do you have that option if your reasoning and your roles line up? Can
Right.
you solve these things with roleplay? If the answer is yes, then they're allowing for more roleplay. If the
Right.
answer is no, which is fine,
Yep.
you're going to have to fight. That means
Yeah.
they want more combat. And I've been in games where I felt, as a charismatic character, that I could persuade some certain bad guys.
Right.
But the DM had the mindset that, hey,
This is
we have to
we
have
rolled
combat
initiative. Yeah,
because it
right.
needs to be exciting.
Yes. Oh no, that's what I was saying. Is that's a really good way to phrase that, or to like come at that, is by saying, hey, so how often will I be able to talk my way out of whatever
Yes.
mess we find ourselves in, or you know, think my way out of, or you know, because my answer to that is, hey, if it's reasonable, like you're saying, and the dice line up and all that stuff, yeah, do it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
There are no guaranteed combats, right? But I think there are DMs who are going to say, well, there's going to be some situations where you're fighting, the giants in this are just savage, mean monsters,
Yeah.
and they don't want to hear it, and they're not going to talk with you, and that's what you're fighting a lot of the time. So there aren't going to be a lot of situations where maybe you can, convince them that it's not worth fighting or that there's a better alternative. And
Yeah.
and I think that is like a really important piece of information to get, and a good way to start to kind of figure out where your DM is as far as players
Yeah.
are concerned.
And like I said, there's no right or wrong. It's just
Yeah.
it's just finding your fit. It's finding your group. All of it's viable, all of it's fun. But if you want a combat oriented game and the DM is not doing that, or
Right.
vice versa, you're going to end up with some issues.
That makes sense.
You're going to end up not having fun, and that's the whole point of it.
That's not great.
Hi, everybody. We're back. These guys are in the basement of an orphanage where all the children have been speaking in unison. found out that it was a ringleader, Sarah, who had just recently gained the ability to talk through people after a lightning storm.
Classic Sarah.
You guys sensed some undead happenings in the basement, walked down there, and found a giant fish tank with what looks like a piece of a giant undead brain with 3 tentacles coming off of it, swimming in green muck.
Lavender,
Yes, Skiff.
I need you to come look at this while I do something in my book.
What
And
are you drawing a picture of it? He's probably not taking his eyes off of this.
he looks at you for a moment and doesn't say anything, but like shuts his mouth. No.
That's right. I mean,
He has a
it does,
charcoal pin out and everything.
it does not seem that we've got like an immediate threat posed by the terrible brain. So perhaps a moment of investigation is called for.
Right.
Kind of scratching his head and is going to continue, probably just like looking at it and watching it for a few moments here.
And I want to sketch the thing. And while I'm doing so, I would like to cast detect thoughts on it.
Ooh.
Cool.
It is a brain.
It is. Yep.
It do thought.
It does. Roll me
Bold
a
assumption. I don't know.
intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh,
Right, sure.
Oh my.
That went well,
Yes.
clearly.
I need you take 2d10 psychic damage. So let me roll that here.
and while he's doing it, he's not really paying much mind. He's looking up at it, detecting thoughts, looking back down to draw,
Right.
and then blood starts to
Take 4
on the
damage.
page.
Not too
And
bad.
then what's your intelligence score?
10.
Okay. Oh boy. All right. So what happens is your intelligence drops to 0. You are stunned, and we're just gonna say that you probably just kind of fall over too, like onto your.
He starts
Under your butt.
foaming at the mouth.
Oh, that's shit.
The brain seems agitated now, and it starts slapping against the side of the tank with its tentacles.
Oh, good. That's great. That's just
Oh.
absolutely ideal.
Oh.
He's gonna walk over and just kind of, I guess, cursory slaps in the face to see if that's all it takes to wake him up. You know, kind of give him a general appraisal here.
It's not.
Imagine not. He will. Oh boy. Try that. I don't think that it's any of the conditions that apply here, but he's gonna throw a lesser restoration to see what happens.
Nope, he's still foaming at the mouth.
Oh, that's not good. This is real bad.
You hear the slight sound of breaking glass behind you. Just.
Oh, that's real bad. He's gonna, I guess, looking around. Is there a way to quickly get Skith's body up off the ground?
Oh yeah, he's a small guy and you're big.
Right. Yeah. I guess he just wants to set him up on a flat-ish surface somewhere that's not on the ground directly. And then, oh boy. I guess shit, I really don't know what else to do here other than try to just kill it.
Yeesh.
So once he'll real quick try and cast one more thing. He'll cast detect magic and see if it appears that the ongoing magical effect afflicting him, I guess.
Fortunately not. Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Sure. I'm not. Not bad at those. Not a good roll.
All right, yeah, a 7. This is If he'd rolled better, I would have given you more information about what's afflicting him. But yeah, it's not something that can be dispelled either.
Right. It's good to know though, because that would have been my next step. I think that he will. God.
There is another thump, and more spider webbing appears on the side of the glass.
Yep. It's gonna go ahead and just get ready to start lighting this.
Oh wait, that was an intelligence check, right? For Arcana?
Oh,
Yeah.
You get to add a D8 to that
that's right.
for
I
a clever
forgot.
animal.
Yeah, he's a
Fancy
clever
pants.
animal. Yeah.
He is truly a clever animal.
Okay, that's 2d8 apparently.
I'll
so
let you
I
keep the
do-
8, though. I'll let you
okay,
keep the
so
first one.
I
Yep.
Missed.
All
when
right,
I was
well,
typing apparently.
That's better. A 15.
go.
So you remember from your like some of your magical training that you've had in the Skinsvag tundra, fighting Vampira. You have fought, or not fought, but your people have fought Ithlids before, and he has been affected by Devour Intellect. The thing when he made conscious connection to him, it ate his thoughts. He will be stunned like this until his intellect can be raised by at least a point some way, which when that happens, he will restore to normal. But there has to be a way to raise his intelligence by at least a point. That is the only way to break that effect. It's a very dangerous effect to be in, as many of the Ithilids can, once a target is stunned, once they have their thoughts have been devoured, they can magically replace their brain with their own.
Yep, that's fantastic. Good deal. So, yeah, it's gonna be a.
Oh, I will also give you this one thing also too, that the teleporting into the brain and eating it once the intellect has been devoured can be blocked by protection from good and evil.
Ooh, okay, good deal. That was gonna be is it related to that kind of an effect or not? I suppose. Cool. So he will. I guess, yeah, with the time he has before the ship breaks on him, he is going to cast protection from evil and good
Okay.
on. Oh man, that sucks. It's a concentration and everything. On Skith here, as he's on the ground.
Okay.
And then.
Well, you put him up. You put him on a low table off the
sorry,
ground.
right.
Yep.
And that will be, I guess, if he's able to, before that, he'll turn around and get ready to put a bunch of bolts into this squidgy brain person.
There is another thump against the tank, and a little shard of glass goes, and then a thin stream of what smells like formaldehyde starts pouring out of the tank. The brain makes another flip and then smashes through the wall. It lands onto the ground with a sickening thud, and really scary fast, it begins slithering straight towards Skith.
All right, I'm just gonna unload on it here.
Okay.
Oh boy, I really wish I had
A non-useless fuck.
Well, that'd be
Next
good
to you.
too, obviously. But I wish I had my concentration free, honestly, because then I'd be able to do more. Like everything I do is concentration, basically. Oh boy. Okay. So he's gonna take 2 shots. He's gonna use his normal action to attack, and then he'll spend a bonus, or with his bonus action, he'll use his War Priest ability to get a second bolt off.
All right. A 12 hits and a 16 hits.
not a good sign, probably. Low AC means I'm gonna have to do a lot of damage. Okay. Boom.
All
Rough.
right, that is 13 damage to the brain.
Does it seem to have any meaningful impact?
It doesn't like it. Its surface constricts around the bolts, and it kind of like and works it out of its own skin. But it is squish. It's like squirting brown, nasty smelling fluid from the wounds. It is not bloodied. It has made it to where Skith is, as this room is only 15 by 15 feet.
Gotcha.
And begins to trying to body thief him, but it is protected by the field that you are. So what it does is it basically like smashes itself onto his face, and then brings up and goes, and then you hear a as it whirls towards you. It's your turn again.
Right. So this is going great. It's gonna, God, I guess take another shot at it.
Okay.
Fuck. I really don't know what else to do here. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, that's gonna be the next step here, I suppose. God, I hate it. Yeah, shit. Trying to think of something else that makes some sense here, but rough. It's
I've
not very
always
good.
thought that bolts to the face are my favorite.
Hang on. Oh, crud. Let me. Whoops. I think I'm going to use the guided strike to make sure that that hits before you tell me whether or not it does.
Cool. That hits.
And that uses his channel divinity, which I probably should have saved for turn undead because I forgot he's actually undead. Oh, well. So it goes. That was a dumb decision. There we go. Would have been the thing to do.
We're all making them today.
All right, 8 more piercing. It's again, the bolt flies into it, and this time it pulls the bolt inside of itself, and you hear some crunching, and then it like, and the bits of bolt fall. It is still leaking from the holes that you're putting in it, though. It comes at you. It's going to make a tentacle attack. So one of the tentacles whip out and attempt to wrap around your neck.
Sure, yeah. Oh, that's good.
Oh, whoops.
That's 70 times.
Whoa! That's a fucking violation.
Does a 44 hit your AC?
No.
If you're lying, I can lie.
All right, no, it rolls a 7, 4 on the die plus 3. It does not hit you.
That makes me happy. Is it, I imagine, then pretty close by?
Yes,
here?
it is within 5 feet of you. Yep.
Okie doke. He is going to, I guess, like move around it to the other side. I assume that puts him kind of close to where Skith is.
Yeah,
maybe.
Absolutely. You're on basically in the same square. Again, there's only literally 4 squares to this battle map, so
if he can be, it seemed like, and last time it seemed like he had to get like at it's like physically in contact with him to do the thing. Okay. So he's gonna just try and get in between tentacle brain man and him, and he will. Oh boy, this could be your death, so sorry.
Fine.
In advance if that's what happens here, but he will.
You'll take L's here.
It's gonna spend a. He's got to get up to. Okay. He's gonna use a 4th level spell slot to cast. Whoops. Oh, it's asking me what level. That's why.
Okay.
Magic weapon here is a bonus action, so it'll drop his concentration on the protection from good and evil. So he gets a +1 on this attack roll that's coming up as he racks another bolt into firing position. And since he's got fancy pants crossbow expert, he can do that within 5 feet here. And he's just going to put another one in him.
Okay.
Hopefully.
That
Ooh,
hits.
so that's a 17 together.
17, yeah.
+1 on the amount rolled.
Sure.
10 altogether.
10. All right. You're doing some damage to it. It spits out the crossbow bolt again. It is now bloodied, though. The holes are beginning to cause some damage.
Okay. All right. If it matters, that's also like magic.
It
doesn't seem like
doesn't.
It has
Yeah.
so far.
Nope.
Cool.
It's just gush. All right.
Oh boy.
But it is going to try to body thief Skith, as it is within 5 feet of both you and Skith. So Skith, make me a intelligence roll.
At 0 intelligence.
Wow.
That's a solid one. So I think that's a -4.
Wow. My friend.
I know it's your death. I'm sorry. Like I said.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and roll its intelligence check.
Maybe you will get a nat one.
It gets +1, so
Literally
Well,
can't.
You know,
it rolled a 15. All right,
I think
so
that beats the -4.
I think it might.
It might.
man, gosh, I didn't really expect this how to go. But you know, all right. So if the thing wins the contest, the brain magically consumes the target's brain and teleports into the skull and takes control of the body. There, the brain has total cover against attacks and other effects originating from outside the host. It gains the intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores, as well as the understanding of the languages that it knows. So if the host body dies, the intelligence devourer must leave it. You would know this too. A protection from evil and good spell cast on the body drives the intellect devourer out.
Okay.
So Skith opens his eyes and sits up. His eyes are completely bloodshot. Just completely red. It smiles and goes, "Oh Nashga, oh Nashga." And he stands up. It's your turn.
And the brain tentacle
It's
beast
gone.
is no longer
Right.
in the room.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
What it looks like it slid into his nose.
Oh, fun.
Like,
That's cool. Right. Oh boy. So here's the thing, and he's gonna just kind of like slowly walk up and try and cast protection from
all right.
good and evil on him. Oh boy. Crap. Or evil and good, I guess.
And you do. Skith's body shudders, and then the thing slides out of his nose. It's covered in blood, and it lands on the ground. And Skith's body, of course, falls over like an empty puppet.
I'm sure that'll buff right out.
The thing is going to attempt to tentacle you again.
Okie doke. Goo. I'm gonna have to just sit here and trade with it.
It didn't hit you. Yeah, +3 did not get over your AC. All right,
Deal with that.
it's your turn.
All right. Oh my god. Shit. I don't think that there's a damn thing I can do other than. Does it look like that hurt him?
What,
Skith?
Skith? Yes, Skith is dead.
What? Oh, like he died?
Yeah, his brain is,
Okay.
he doesn't have a brain anymore.
Oh, well, I mean, it said if they died.
Right, if the
Then
the target's
get-
body dies. If the target's body, like, because he's
Okay,
the
so he
target
was
is dead.
already dead.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was already, once the
From
thing,
going in there.
right,
Gotcha.
it replaced his brain with it, and then you drove it out of the body.
I mean,
That's where the
magic, man,
devouring
you know.
part comes in. I
Sure. No,
Right.
yeah, I get that. I just like figured that it stayed in there when it was. I didn't. Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't know that it like. I don't know, man. It's magically going into your brain anyway.
Right.
Yeah. But I think he'll probably start backing his way out toward the
Okay. You
know,
can
slowly
make,
kind of edging.
yeah, if you
toward
it's
the exit here.
difficult terrain, but it's literally only 2 tiles of difficult terrain, so you could make it
I'm
up
not- I
the
don't know.
stairs and out the door if you wanted to.
He's not trying. He's just like backing in that direction.
Okay.
He's gonna stay down here, I think, and try and kill it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Jesus.
25 hits,
Probably had.
6 more
Boom.
piercing. It doesn't like it.
Is that
Like I
still
said,
+1?
It is bloodied.
It
Oh
is
yeah, it
not,
is.
'cause
Oh
I
no, yeah,
cast the protection
yep,
on him to
on the
drive it
body.
out.
Yep.
But I guess I could have done something else since, because I don't need that anymore since he's dead. Oh well, next turn.
Well, he might take the body still.
I guess that's a good point. It's
Yeah.
worth keeping it on there.
All right.
pretend
Then I think it
it's-
can cast my spells and stuff too.
That would be not good.
Yes, it can. Yep. Yeah, including spells and languages. Yeah, so it would be able to cast your spells against him. All right, it's gonna try to tentacle you.
Okie doke.
6 does not hit.
Jeez,
It's
it's rolling
very
so
bad at tentacling you. It's just
You in
flailing.
particular.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
God damn it.
A 12 hits. It's
Wow.
got a 12 AC. 5 more
Wow.
piercing. You've almost killed the thing.
All right, he's just gonna keep kind of dancing around the junk and stuff here as he's I mean probably staying within 5 feet of it the whole
Sure,
time.
yep,
but he's
yep.
Just dodging around and hopping up on tables and chairs and junk.
Ooh, that time it
18
got
is-
you. Yep. All right.
What's your
There he
int?
goes.
Hope it's
Um,
higher than 10.
Sure isn't.
5 bludgeoning damage,
5.
and
Okay.
it is grappled you now.
Okay.
It is your turn. The tentacle is around your neck, and it seems to be searching for your brainstem. Like you can feel it go.
Oh, I hate
Um,
that. I really hate that.
Great. Oh, that's fantastic. So he's he's gonna need to. I guess actually he's got to make a Constitution save to maintain concentration on
Sure.
the protection thing. Be a 10, which he fails.
Yep,
That
all right.
sucks. So that pops off. Otherwise, it seems otherwise engaged here, though. Perhaps
It
Uh,
it is.
at
Yep.
the moment. And fuck. Yeah, so he'll spend a bonus action to. Let's see if Divine Favor doesn't upcast, does it? Nope. So he'll magic weapon again.
All right.
The 2nd level spell slot. And attack once more. Just kind of put it up against the brain.
Sure. Yeah. Just
He's sitting right next to it here and let loose.
all right.
Sorry, see if I can get back to the right part of my character sheet. There we go.
14 hits.
That's
And that
plus
is
1 as well.
Enough to kill it. So you put your crossbow up
Shit.
against it, and it goes and just splats into a bunch of different pieces. Tentacles twitch and die.
Oh my
A
god.
bittersweet victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Fuck.
Skith's body is
Damn.
just laying there.
I guess he's gonna scoop him up and throw him over his shoulder here. Oh boy. and head up the stairs.
You walk
Probably
up
just
this.
leaving the mess.
You walk up the stairs and there's a bunch of crying children. Sarah comes up and says, "I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
Sorry, what's it you can't do?
I can't look into people's minds and make them do what I want."
Oh, right. It's so you've not actually gotten powers, then it was the evil, awful brain thing. down
What?
there.
One of the girls like, "I can't make illusions."
That's unfortunate, but you know, perhaps if you study hard, you'll be able to come across these talents, you know, in a more conventional manner. But I think he kind of like just gestures vaguely toward the dead body on his shoulder. Like, it's not exactly an ideal set of circumstances here. What was going on? You've gotten your powers through some sort of unholy beast.
Is he okay?
What, the beast?
No, the guy.
No, he's quite dead.
Right.
Remember when I suggested everyone go outside the house because it was dangerous in here? Looking around at all the kids.
They're all crying.
No,
They're
he's
very
fucking
upset.
dead. Run, child, run.
Well, at this point, you know, it's dead down there now, so I am fairly certain that you're safe. Of course, it was dead initially.
None of the kids
obviously.
are listening to you. They're all crying
Yeah,
or hiding.
He's just talking,
Yeah.
I think, to the like kind of mass of like, you know, turning from one kid to the next as they're sort of buzzing around. So kind of eventually give up and start and make his way out of the
Orphanage.
orphanage here.
You walk out to see that Ruby did not listen to Skith, and she's back outside the door pacing. As you come out, she goes, "Oh my, is your friend? Is he
Dead, yes.
Oh dear. What did
Yeah.
one of the, did the queen do that?"
What? Well, no. Well, indirectly, I guess. No, not the queen. If you're calling Sarah the queen, anyway. But there
Sarah?
was. What?
What do you mean, Sarah? She's one of my brightest orphans.
There was like a bit of a how do I put this? Brain to puss. No, that's not it. He's like rubbing his chin.
That was
Shifts the weight on his shoulder.
that was an educational donation from
What?
Gira.
Sorry, someone donated the undead brain tentacle.
No, it was dead. It was very dead. It was
Yes.
preserved in formaldehyde.
Undead, you might say.
They had checked it and everything. They said it was not magical anymore.
Well, there was some sort of lightning strike. I understand from talking with the children.
Yes, and we actually had a bolt hit the orphanage.
He nods. Well, there's a non-zero chance that that's sort of reanimated this. I guess what was a donation. What were you teaching them that was like a valuable
Just
aid?
brain anatomy, but it wasn't a very popular lesson, so it was one of the first things I stored in the basement.
Right. Well, oh, it's dead again.
I'm so sorry about your partner.
Yeah. And he kind of looks at it. It's really awful, obviously. Total shame.
Yes, I'm very
Just
sorry.
Slumped over, and then sort of like got his brain eaten.
Oh,
It was like a like.
I
crawled
don't
up his
need any
nose.
more. I don't need any more detail. Thank you.
He's like kind of gesturing and then like pointing up his
Using my body.
Oh god, no.
You see here where it's all like bloody
Just
and
blood,
whatnot.
just
That's
yeah, you're weeping blood from every orifice, so your nose and your eyes and
his
your ears.
brain
Yeah.
there, I believe. Yeah, that pasty chunk. Oh God!
All right, well, guys, we're gonna end it a little bit early, but yeah, they solved the mystery of Howl Bay.
We fucking did it.
Unfortunately, John is gonna have to roll up another darning agent because he has gone through another one here. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but
like full agents. You know. Lavander here is going to make it through before he exits his probie status.
Right?
It's just going to get passed around to another. He's going to be that guy. You know,
guy like, oh no, I don't want him. No.
Him as a partner.
Nah.
Right. Everybody
That's
dies.
actually funnier, though.
I don't want to be the guy that the cowman brings down on his shoulder. Like, all right, guys, so if you liked what you saw, join us every Monday for another Darning Watch adventure. They're pretty tough. Sometimes they live, sometimes they die, but they always have some pretty good fun along the way. Again, we do this every Monday. We start streaming at 9:30 and go to about 11:30, midnight, somewhere in the 11 o'clock hour. We stop depending on how long they live. We also have another stream happening every other Tuesday at 9:30 called the Disastronauts. I play as character in that one, and it's a lot of fun. I play a sassy philosophy robot that wants to take over the universe. It's good stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, all three of us are in that. Yeah, of course. Yeah. We're all the role players.
I haven't died yet.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's because it's Kyle's game.
He's not a monster.
I'm a
objective
terrible.
Is not to kill someone immediately.
And then we also have a stream on Thursdays called every other Thursday called Table 13. We'll have one this Thursday where we discuss tabletop topics and just kind of shoot the shit about the
intellective hours are this week's topic.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll go right into that. Yeah, strange.
It oozes last time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the last cruise.
Yeah, we'll give instruction on how I've killed my role players the last week, and he's like, yes, this is what ate them. Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to join our Discord and talk to any of us, there's the link down below. We also have a website where you can buy some merchandise and a Patreon where you can donate a couple of bucks to help make this production even better.
Send funds to my family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep.
Pay for Skid's funeral.
Skid's
my
funeral.
wake.
Of our characters' funeral.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good night, and we will see you next Monday. Goodbye.